Hi, welcome to video 4 in the series. So last time we were talking about some of the different scenes we need. So right now we've got the main menu. We also need to have a credits, a settings, and a game intro scene. So let's get rid of that. So let's make those scenes now. So in the scene folder, I'm going to right click, create scene. And this is going to be settings scene. I don't know why I put the word scene on there. We all know what that is. Then I'll make another one. Scene, and this is going to be the credits scene, and then I'm going to put an intro scene. Excuse me. Alright, so I've got my scenes there. I need to put these in order so we can play them together. And what Unity does is it creates an array of the different scenes and it gives them all index numbers. So if I go to File, Build Settings, you can see the first scene is already in the build and it starts at index number 0. So from there I'm going to add settings, and then I'm going to add credits, and then I'm going to put the intro scene. So you need to remember these index numbers because that's what we're going to use in the code to trigger those scenes. So I'll need to trigger index number 1 to load the settings scene. I'll need to use index number 2 to load the credit scene. You get the idea. Alright, so with those all set up, I can close this. Alright, now I'm going to kind of go back forward. We need to create 2 scripts. So the first script is going to go to the music player. So I'm going to go into my scripts folder, and you're going to right click, create C# script. And we're going to call this music player. Now, this one does not get any spaces. Your script names cannot have a space in them. It all has to be one continuous string of characters, and it cannot be a space. If you create a space, your script will not work. So you can see here the class name, music player, does not have a space, and then my name doesn't have it. So these have to match perfectly. Otherwise, stuff won't work. All right, I'm going to double click this to fire it off. Now, you might be using a different version of Visual Studio, and if you are, you can go into Unity. If you go Edit and Preferences, and then go to External Tools, here you can pick whatever version, whatever you're going to use to write your code. I tend to use the 17 version because, I don't know, I'm just more familiar with that one. But all the different, anytime you install a new version of Unity, you typically get the newest and greatest community version of Visual Studio. So you can pick whichever one you want to run. I'm just going to use 17. So yours might be different if you only installed this and this is the first time you ever played with Visual Studio. You may have a different version. All right, what we're going to do in this script, and this probably is not a good idea for your very first script, but we're going to create an instance of the music player. And we're going to not destroy that. We're going to keep it running, and that way if I go from main menu and I go into the settings, the background music is going to continue to play and it won't be interrupted. And if I go to credits and stuff like that. But then we also need what we call a singleton pattern, which says there can only be one instance or one single instance of this instance ever at any time. So I'm going to get rid of all the. When you see these namespaces up here that are gray, that means they're not used. So we're going to get rid of that. We have to have our class, and you see most of our Unity stuff derives from mono behavior, unless you're creating like a scriptable object or something like that. Now I'm going to change this to, actually let's pop here. And here we're going to say, hey, we're going to create a variable. It's going to be a public static, and we're going to call it music player. It has to be the same name as the class that we're deriving from, and we're going to make that an instance. All right, now here, instead of start, we're going to change this to awake. And then in here, we're going to make like a simple if statement saying, hey, if I see something more than one, destroy it. So in there, we're going to say if, and we're going to say instance, not index, does not equal null. So if there's not null means there is one, we're going to destroy this game object. All right, I don't need that extra line there. I am a terrible typist, I'll admit it. All right, come on. And then we're going to say, hey, instance. Oh my gosh, I need to get a new keyboard. And now we're going to do don't destroy on load this. So basically what this says is, hey, when you start, if there is some other instance that's already in the object or in the running, destroy it. If not, don't destroy it. And we get rid of this. So that's the whole thing. All right, then we're going to save that. And I'm going to close. And then we're going to attach that to the music player. After it loads. Okay. Now I'm going to hit this to kind of shorten this so I can drag this over and then drag that over. Ta-da. And then, well, I can't really test it until I get the buttons working. So now let's work on the buttons. So first I'm going to make something. Now normally we make managers, like we make a music manager and a scene manager and a player manager or a player controller. So we have all these cool names like controller, changer, manager, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to make a scene changer. So I'm going to right click, and you see this a lot. We create an empty game object, then we create a script to give it to attach it. And then if I just make a script down here and I don't attach it to anything in the scene, that script is never accessed. So I have to have something in the scene here, listed here in the scene, in order to make the script, be accessed. And that's why we create these empties. Excuse me, this is going to be scene changer. Because it's gonna manage our scene changes for us. Oh, you know what? In that case, I'm just gonna call it scene manager. I see posts all the time on Stack Overflow and stuff where they talk, don't name everything manager. But there's nothing wrong with that. I like to having a good manager. All right, then I need to play with the scenes here. I'm gonna go to the settings scene and save before I go. And I'm just going to add, I didn't really want a canvas, but that's what you're going to get. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm going to add some text, and it's going to say settings scene, so I know I'm in the settings scene. Let's go back out to the scene and save that. And then I want to go to the credits scene and do the same thing. And canvas. And right click on canvas. UI text. And this one's going to say credit scene. And I'm going to spell scene correctly without fat fingering that stuff. So now that works. And then we're going to, forgot to save it. Go to the intro scene and do the same thing. UI, canvas, and then on the canvas, text. And this is going to say intro scene. And I spelled it right the first time. It's a Christmas miracle. All right, so now we've got those scenes again. And we just have basic stuff so we know that we're going to test the functionality in our main menu. So now I'm going to go back to, I'm going to save, go back to the main menu. And now on my scene manager, I'm going to create a new script, and I'm going to call this scene changer because we can add a bunch of stuff to it later if we need more scene changes. And scene changer. I should put a capital C. All right, so scene changer, good. Double click to fire it off. All right, now in this, we can get rid of all this crap in the middle. We don't need any of that stuff. And we don't need any of this. Now here at the top, these are, it depends on what language you come from. Like if you come from like C++, they might call these libraries. In Unity, we tend to call these namespaces. But these are collections of stuff that have built-in functionality that we need. So in our case, I'm going to copy this first one, because this script is going to deal with changing different scenes. So I need to add the scene management namespace. And you can see it's grayed out because it's not being accessed. But we'll fix that in just a moment. So we're going to create 4 little functions to trigger off a scene change. And then we're going to link those functions to the buttons that we made in the last video. So get some space in here. I don't need any variables. First, I'm going to put a comment on here. So always comment your code so that you know what it does. And that way, if you ever have to refer back to it or something, or you try to duplicate it again later on and you forgot, like that'll help you. All right, so this is going to load the intro scene. And I'm going to spell that correctly. So we're going to make this public because it needs to be accessed from outside. And it's not going to return anything. And we're going to call this load intro scene. Brackets. Brackets. Oh, wrong brackets. What in the world am I doing today? Typing is hard. All right, now to change the scene, all you have to do is call the scene manager and then tell it to load scene. So just, and I'm looking down here for the IntelliSense because I hate typing. And then it's just load scene. And now the intro scene, mine was index number 3. Oh my gosh, am I typing bad today? And that's all there is to it, and this will load the intro scene in index number 3. Now, I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to paste, and I'm going to have this load the settings scene. And that is going to be index number 1. And then I'm going to paste that again. And I'm going to have it load the credits scene. And credits was index number 2. Now, this last part is going to be a little bit different. Quit isn't necessarily a scene. It's leaving the program. So we're going to say, we're going to call this quit game. And this does not use scene manager. It uses application, come on, IntelliSense, .quit. Oh my gosh, why am I fat fingering so much stuff today? And I got to put the little brackets, and we're good. So this application quit only works when the application is built out. So once I'm done with this and I have everything good, I'm going to build it out of Unity so it's its own executable, and then this quit will work. So this quit will not work in the editor, which is what we currently have. But I'm going to save this. And then later on, I can add, like if I have more scenes, I can just keep adding them to the list and keep adding the script, as needed. All right, save that. And then I'm going to go to my scene manager. And wait. Excuse me. Come on. That's right, you get my terrible typing, burps and all. I don't really edit out anything on these videos. I just shoot to thrill. Alright, so now I go to my scene manager and I add my script. And there's nothing really to add there, so we're all set. Alright, now we need to add functionality to our buttons. So I'm going to go back to the canvas. And I'm going to go to my play button. And if I scroll down here, you'll see this on-click empty thing. And then here's where we add the actual functionality. So we're going to add plus because we're going to say, hey, on-click, do something. And if you grab Scene Manager and pop that in, then you should get your scene changer script to show. And then this is going to play game, so this was going to load the intro scene. Alright, that's good. Then I'm going to go to Settings and do the exact same thing. Add, drag in Scene Manager. You have to drag in the object that has the script, which is our Scene Manager. And then I can access that script. And then this is the settings, so I'm going to load the settings scene. I'm going to go to Credits, Add, drag in the Scene Manager, or whatever game object has your script on it, and then go to the function. Now this one, I'm going to the script, and this was Credits, and then I'm going to go to the Quit button, add that, again, same thing, drag it in there, go to the script, and look for Quit Game. And now all my buttons are set up. So if I hit play and I go to play game, it goes to the intro scene. And let me show you this. Hold on. Now, if I go to settings, see how the music keeps playing like it never stopped? And one more. Credits. Yep. So now these buttons are taking me to my new scenes. And I have a scene manager that I can drag into other scenes. I can add on to the script if I need to go like from level 1 to level 2 or level 2 to level 3. And I can just keep adding those functions in the script. And just keep adding this game object in there. So I should theoretically be all set. All right, in the next video, we're going to work on the settings scene. Then after that, maybe we'll just pop the credit scene. Will only take a minute. You know what? Let's probably knock that out real quick. All right, I'm going to save this file. Save. I always save project 2. I don't know why. There's something wrong with me. And I'm going to go into the credit scene and canvas and the text. Now here, that's going to be like the title. Sometimes I can't get the little thing to move for me. I should have done that and then moved it. Alright, that doesn't need to be that big. And if I hit game, that's what I'm going to see. Okay, so now I'm going to play with my colors again. I'm going to go with a green background and my sage text. So, without further ado, I'm going to go to the camera and I'm going to change the background there. And that's going to be my green sage, and that was 3D7068. And then I'm going to go to my text and scroll down, change that color, and that is going to be my sage, which was C0BDA5. Alright, now let's take a look at that in the game view. That's not too bad. Again, you can do the white if you want to. So I'm going to have this as title text. And then I'm going to add another UI text. And this one's going to be bigger. I'm going to grab that transition tool so I can make this bigger. Doesn't need to be that big. Let's easy there, JMac. Let's line that up with that square and that square, and then we'll put our stuff in here. So I'm going to make that text a little bit smaller. Let's say 20. Ooh, too small. 26? Yeah, 26. And then I'm going to start putting in my credits. So I'm going to say main menu background image, and I'm going to tab, and that was Justin Nichols. Where's it? Nickel. And again, this is why you want to have this stuff so you can credit the people properly. He just has nickel. And let's see what that looks like in the display. Not too cool. Let's. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna. And then I'm gonna say this came from I really enjoy mentioning OpenGameWire because it's such a great site. Oh my gosh, everybody would be mad at me if I spelled their name wrong. What a moron I am. Alright, so take a look. Okay. So I'm good with that. Alright, so I can do that same thing. And enter, paste, and say main menu, music, and a couple more spaces. And that was not from Justin. That was from... Ooh, that's going to be a big one. Alright, and then after adjusting everything, that's what it looks like. And in the game, it looks like that. Now, I'm also going to change that up, the color. So everything matches. And what was that color? That was C0BDA5. And again, if we get too many down here, it depends like all the way through the project. We can always just kind of have it scroll up and go across. But for right now, this is good. All right, I'm going to change this to, say, credits text. And I'm not going to fat finger stuff. And then real quick, I'm going to go back to scripts and go to that scene changer. Open that up. And obviously we know that loads, so let's pop another one right there. And I'm going to grab that, copy, paste, and load main menu. And that was index number 0. Save that and wait. Keep waiting, and then I'm going to close canvas, right click, create empty, scene changer, and good. Grab that script, pop it in, and then on my canvas I'm going to add a button. Where the heck was, there it is, button. And I'm going to move it, need to go back to the scene view and move it down and change the name of that to back to main menu. So that means I need to make my button bigger. Let's go back to the button. Now let's say the height is 50 and the width is 180. I'm going to stretch this one out manually. Ew, I do not like that one. Ugh, that is gross. Alright, what was the other button? What was that? 160? Just say back to menu. And change that to 40. And then I need to change all the colors. What a pain in the butt. 3D7068. And then this, I think we use the base, yeah. C DBA5. And then for the press, we used the red, which was 875053. All right, let's see what that's going to look like. Oh, now we need to change the text. Oh, why did I hit play? And that, we can just do white. Although I should have everything the same. I probably should have a different color for that button, but at least that kind of works. Alright, then we need to mess with the functionality of the button. So we're going to add our scene changer. We're going to access our script. and main menu. And then if I save that, file, save, I should be able to go to the main menu and play. I'll wait for the music, and then go to credits. Music still plays, and then go back to main menu, and I still only have one music player, which is what I want. And that's why we have that singleton. Close that. Let's save everything. Save project. All right, next video we will work on the settings menu, which will be pretty complicated and kind of funny to play with. But if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. Thanks, folks. Have a great day.